Hi, this is Glenn with Crimson Lotus Tea. We are in a small village a couple hours outside of Jinggu. Jinggu is northwest of Puerh city, a couple 100 kilometers. Came out here, we haven't been out here before. I drove up here and it's raining like mad and it's super muddy. It's pretty tricky to get out here. The roads are pretty tough. But we wanted to come out and check out what they had. This farm that we're at here right now, or this tea garden, has some really nice old trees. We're gonna look through and see what they've got. We're gonna try some of their tea and just kind of check this place out and see what they've got. So I'll be showing you some of how they do their processing and in the rest of this video. So thanks for watching. This is a withering machine, so you can actually see all of the leaf material that's in here. Underneath here is a screen, a wire mesh. So the leaf sits on here, and they'll turn on this fan if they need to, and then this can actually help the tea to wither. This is the weighty out stage, and after it's been done, depending on what they're doing, if it's a black tea or shunk puerh, depending on how many hours they're going to do it, they can. It actually helps to remove a significant amount of the moisture, and then it makes the roasting a lot easier. So this will get roasted tonight, and then we'll do the sun drying tomorrow. It actually smells really incredible. It's a lot of material. This is a typical roasting station, so we've actually got 6 on here, and which is pretty cool. They can actually do a lot. Oh, looks like there's some leftover material. They may have actually graded that out. It looks more like Huang Pian. These ones here, they're actually it's actually still warm. They were roasting this morning. It's a really beautiful texture in these roasting stations. You see they've got this nice angle there. So what happens is they'll roast down here, and they'll push the leaf up, so the leaf up there gets to cool, and then it stays hot down there, and so they can kind of just keep cycling like that, and it kind of actually help gravity kind of helps bring it down. They got a nice scoop out on the front, so when they're done, they bring in a nice basket, and they can dump all the material right into the basket, and then carry it off to be sun dried. This is the back of this roasting station here, and so you can see where they actually control the fire. So similar to how a kiln operates, so you want to put the wood into here, and then the ash actually drops down there, and so it actually helps to create more consistent heat. And this place here actually does have a chimney, and so that helps to keeps the smoke away. They use some really nice wood. It's all cut just to be the right shape, so it's pretty easy to just kind of get it in there. So you'll have somebody back here who's managing the fire while other people are roasting. So it's definitely a team effort. A lot of people work together. This is a typical puerh tea drying room. It's usually raised up. It's on an upper level, and you've got a lot of bamboo mats. These mats are all handmade. Bamboo mats on the ground, and then the leaf material is put onto there. You get a lot of good sunlight, and so it helps it to do the sun dry stage. Some good windows in there to help with some airflow. And so this is the last stage for the mao cha. After it's been withered and roasted, comes up here and it dries, and then after that it would be grated. They'd pick out the different leaf material, separate the good stuff from the Huang Pian, and then it's ready to drink. It's interesting to see just right on the side of the house, right where they live, just nice big old tea trees. Chickens running around. That's your fertilizer. And the road to get here was pretty bad. This is actually one of the nicer parts of the road. It was pretty wet and muddy, and really steep. The road hasn't been taken care of well at all. On this side of the garden, they've got some bigger trees. You can see on the other side, they've in the distance, they've got some smaller trees that have been planted more recently. These are some decently large trees, moderately. They've got some decent trunk material, a lot of branch material. They're telling me that these trees are 300 to 500 years old. I don't have a really good way to verify it, but they do have some decent trunk material on them, and some nice branches and stuff. So we're gonna try some of the tea and see how it is, see what we think of it. So we're in the middle of the tea garden here. Some of these larger trees still got some summer late spring, summer growth on them. There's some decent trees in here. It's kind of fun to dig through these gardens and look around. They've got other stuff growing in here as well, and let's kind of check out the trees. They've got some fairly decent size on them. Some of the ones in the back there actually look like at some point in time they were pruned, whereas these ones right here look like they've been allowed to grow longer. Yeah. Some decently large trees back in this area here. They're still doing some picking today. Got some nice ladders and stuff. It's nice to see when they bring out some ladders, they don't stress the trees by climbing them as much, but sometimes some of the areas it's just easier to climb the trees. There we go. We can see some new growth coming out on some of these branches here. Obviously things grow really well once it starts raining. Before the rains this year, stuff wasn't doing too good, but things are looking nice now. But this is probably, when they pick this, might be considered a summer tea. Found some pu'er seeds growing on this tree right here. That's something that you see sometimes gets picked and processed and just goes right into the cakes. And if you've opened up a number of cakes of pu'er in your lifetime, you'll probably find occasionally a little seed and stuff in there. That's it. They're just growing, sitting there right there on the tree. It's nice to see a lot of moss on the tree. Some people will try and tell you like that the moss grows at a certain rate, and so if you see X amount of moss on a tree, then that tree is like 200-300 years old or something like that. I haven't really found any scientific consensus to back that up. I've even seen moss growing on fairly small trees, but one thing you can definitely do is just look at the size of the tree. I mean, this tree right here has got a very nice big trunk on it. So these trees don't grow super fast. I wouldn't say this is like a 1,200-year-old tree or anything like that, but it's definitely been here for a while. I've done a fair bit of tea picking here and there, and it's not physically difficult work, but it's hard to do it with the skill that these guys do. I can sit there and pick for an hour, and they will have picked. My bag will be like a quarter full, and they'll have filled like 2 bags in that amount of time. So it's really amazing. They've got a lot of really good precision as well. They know exactly how to pick. They've been doing this for a really long time, and he's actually pretty high up there. He's on the top of a ladder, so it's a fairly large tree. One of the problems in the small villages is the lack of electricity, especially during storms. So we don't have hot water to make tea. So we're gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way over a fireplace. So this is a traditional minority style kitchen. They use open flames down there. They'll actually cook a lot of their food right in here. And in a kitchen like this, a lot of times, there's not any in this one here. I'm sorry, we can't see. It's a little too dark in here. It's dark because there's no electricity. They'll often hang pork legs and stuff from the ceiling, and then while they're doing cooking, the pork legs over the months will actually start to smoke and season and stuff. And it's pretty delicious. So once the water gets boiled, then we can actually start drinking some of the tea. It was actually sitting behind me. So here's some pork just sitting here, curing. Every single day it sits up here, and so the natural smoke from their kitchen fires is just smokes the hanging meat. They'll eat this probably another 6 months. It'll be incredibly delicious. So it's often pretty awesome coming out to the farmer villages and eating the natural food that they've got grows out here. They would have raised these pigs themselves, and they would have been fed just from local food and stuff. There's some really good food out here. This is the point that we've all been waiting for. Finally getting a chance to try some of this tea. So this is actually what we're going to try. This was they consider this the last spring picking. It was picked and processed maybe about a week ago. It's nice. So this is some of their local material. Some nice big leaves, good picking, and we'll see how it is. I've not actually tried tea from this area before, but we'll see how it is. I'm curious. we drank this tea for about 14 steepings, and just kind of checking out the leaves now. They're nice leaves. They're actually pretty. They're pretty big. They were saying the after the rains came, the teas looked a lot better, but the teas before then tasted better. They also here had some issues with the different weather and stuff that was plaguing Yunnan this year, but they were pleased with how the second spring tasting turned out, or excuse me, the second spring picking turned out. And yeah, being able to like look at the leaves and inspect the leaves is a critical part of the process. There's no like black marks and burnt marks and stuff on there. These things were all processed pretty well, and nice strong leaves still pretty tough. And this was actually a nice tea. It was we brewed it a lot, and it was still really nice and really sweet. So it's not bad. I enjoyed it. We're trying some of their black tea as well. This is their Hongcha, their Dianhong, their Yunnan Red, Yunnan Black. It's not too bad. And so this is made from the large leaf varietal stuff, Camellia sinensis assamica. And they were saying that they'll choose to make it black tea if it's been raining recently, because a lot of it loses the aroma and it's not as good for Shangpuer, but it makes a really awesome black tea. So it'll be really interesting to try some of this stuff. The aroma is really awesome. It smells great. We've driven about another 10 kilometers or so further into the mountains. We're at another village now, working with another farmer. We're going to check out his tea as well, and maybe do a tour of his garden as well. See what his tea is like. It's really pretty out here. Just being up in these mountains, it's nice and cool, and it's just gorgeous. Really nice and green. And you can see the inspiration for our tea. That the name that I gave it for one of the other teas was Beneath an Emerald Sea. Just these rolling hills of green just reminded me of a ocean sea of green, and kind of gave me that inspiration. It's really enjoyable for us to be able to come out here and visit and check out these places. This farmer's got a pretty decent setup. It's got 2 stories for doing the Waidiao withering stage, and this is a pretty nice looking setup. We're gonna go check out, and I think they're gonna be doing some roasting in a little bit. We're gonna check that out too. This is a finished pile of Shangpuer Maocha here, and it hasn't been graded yet, so it still has a lot of the Huangpian, big old yellow leaf material in there. I generally don't have a problem with that stuff, but most of their customers will want to actually pull that stuff out, and so people will sit here at these tables and they'll grade it out, and then sometimes you can actually buy the Huangpian material separately and make some decent tea out of that too. This is their sun drying setup here, and it's really nice. It's nice to see some place that's nice and clean like this. You get some good light in here. It's somewhat warm in here, and it's got some nice doors on the sides so you can get some different airflow and stuff. Depending on the weather and how hot and humid it is, depends on how long they have to sun dry. Sometimes it takes a second day. They've got another portion of the warehouse where they store the material that has already been finished but hasn't been purchased yet, and it's a lot. There's a decent amount of material here. Actually, I think this is his material from autumn, and this is what's left of his spring material. Some of the stuff that we've been drinking, and it's it's nice to see like a big huge pile of stuff like that. It's good. I actually really enjoy drinking it. Some decent material. So I think this has actually already been graded. This is a wood-fired drying machine for tea. This is something that they would use for black tea. They wouldn't use this for Shangpuer, but this farmer does a lot with a lot of black tea stuff as well. This is an industrial rolling machine. So after the tea has been roasted and finished, they'll go ahead and put the leaf material in there, and then the whole thing rotates around with electricity again and again and again, and it rolls the leaf. And they primarily use this for their black tea, and they also use it for their ecological pu'er, but they don't use it for their black. They don't use it for their old tree material. Their old tree material is all hand rolled. They take better care of it. A machine like this creates a very consistent look. Changes the flavor a little bit. I prefer the stuff that's been hand rolled as well. But these machines certainly are advantageous to the farmer. It really helps out the production a lot. We've got two teas here that we're trying. This is one of their autumn teas. This was done from last year, autumn 2016. We're going to try that in comparison to one of their more recently picked. This is actually a mix of early spring and late spring. So we'll be able to try both of those together and see how they see what they're like. This is something else that's quite popular in the area. They've got a lot of walnuts, and they actually do a lot of honey out here as well. These walnuts are actually quite tasty. Hey, look, Llama opened up one for us. That's still a little tough. It's a little hard opening walnuts with one hand, but the walnuts here are actually super awesome. I quite enjoy it. So they've actually, if there's a noise in the background, that's a local generator. Most of these villages don't have electricity, so they're running a generator for us, so to make it a little bit easier to heat the water and stuff. And that's pretty nice. So this is the tea that we're trying. This is their autumn one. It's got a really nice color to it. It actually tastes a lot like a black tea. It tastes less like a sheng than I would have thought. And but it's pretty light. It's pretty delicate. It's very smooth. It's got some nice body to it. We're giving a try to the spring material. This is processed just like I said. It's a mix of early spring and late spring. The aroma on this is quite intoxicating. The aroma from the Fairness cup after we've used it is quite nice. You get to take a look at the leaves and stuff here as well. I'm excited to try this tea. So it turns out this farmer as well has his own show pu'er. It's not entirely his material, but he worked with a couple different mountains in the area and gathered the material and took it to Munghai and had it Wodui, turned it into show pu'er through Wodui last year. So we're going to give this a try as well. I'm kind of excited about it. It's interesting to see smaller farmers working to make their own show pu'er. So we're going to see how this one turns out. This is about the fourth steeping of the show pu'er. I had him do like a super long steeping of it because I like to test it out like that, and it's actually quite nice. The Wodui on this was done in 2014, and it's had some time to kind of like calm down and settle. It was aged in Simao for a little while, and then he's been aging it himself here. It's nice. It's thick and dark, and it's kind of nice nutty aroma. It's almost no Wodui aroma left to it. It's quite enjoyable actually. One of the best things after a long day of drinking tea and hunting for tea in the tea mountains with the farmers is having a nice big farmer's meal. This stuff here is amazing. I'll show you what we're going to eat tonight, and it's pretty awesome. This is a typical farmer's meal. You've got some really amazing vegetables, a chicken soup, feet and everything included, and some nice sausage from the pigs that they've had here. Some another chicken dish and some pork. Every single thing that they eat here is going to be sourced within walking distance, grown by themselves, raised by themselves, and it's just a really tasty end to the day. The food out here is just absolutely incredible. It's pretty late now, and we're heading back to Jinggu. We've been out here all day, and had a lot of fun. Got some tea to try later, and we'll let you know how it is. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for tuning in. I think I'm going to end the video with some video from the actual road, so you can see what it's like when you're when you're actually driving in and out of here. It's a lot of work. Anyways, yeah, like and subscribe. We got more videos coming, and thanks for watching.
no.